Barak to Yahweh, Barakatha, Yahweh Barak to Yahweh, Barakatha, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled Defining a Crybaby. Lord, will you are edified. My source, Merriam-Webster, and crybaby is defined as one who cries or complains easily or often. Synonyms: complainer, fusser, whiner, okay? And when you jump down, this comment by Jonathan: people always call whiners crybabies. So-called white people are Edomites based on the lineage of their fathers. The progenitor of the Edomites was Esau, and Esau was a crybaby, okay? Let's start with an early carnation of Esau as Cain. And this account is going into when Abel committed to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, a righteous sacrifice according to the law. And Cain did not, okay? And therefore, Cain was rebuked by Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Genesis 4:4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Why? Because Abel sacrificed according to the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, meaning angry, and his countenance fell. Let's jump down. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. He murdered his brother. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel your brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cry unto me from the ground. Verse 11, and now are you cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. This is an example of a crybaby, okay? Cain murdered Abel, then lied to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, about murdering Abel. Again, this is an example of a crybaby, a whiner, okay? A person that hates to be held accountable. All right, let's jump to Genesis, the 25th chapter. And if you can receive this in the spirit, Cain later became Esau through the process or via reincarnation. Also, Abel became um, Jacob through the process of reincarnation. Genesis 25 and verse 29. And Jacob sod pottage, meaning he was cooking pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray you, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day your birthright. Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? The birthright, hence the kingdom of heaven. At this time frame, he had this crybaby, this whiner, this unrighteous / wicked person had the kingdom of his heaven, Salakim, had the kingdom of heaven in his possession. But guess what? It wasn't set up in the spirit. And that's the reason why it played out the way it played out on earth. Okay? Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Keep this in mind. Genesis 27 and verse 30. Now, this is going into after Jacob had received the blessing, the kingdom of heaven from Isaac. Okay. Jacob 27 and verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, where is he that has taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before you came, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. Remember, back in the ancient times, a man stood on what he said. Okay? Verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried, hence a crybaby, defining a crybaby, with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, your brother came with subtlety, and has taken away your blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he take away my blessing. And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him your Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do unto you, my son? So eventually, Isaac gave Esau a blessing, right? And we are living in the end of Esau's blessing, and that blessing is going into a kingdom or Esau's dominion, basically a rulership. But the point is, why is Esau crying when you sold the blessing to Jacob anyway, right? You sold the blessing to Jacob. You despise the blessing. And guess what is attached with the blessing? The kingdom of heaven. Okay? So why are you crying, Esau? Defining a crybaby. A Luke 16 and 19. There was a certain rich man. Now, this rich man is a representation of the nobility of Edom, okay? And this is a parable, which was clothed in purple and fine linen. Now, this supports that this rich man was in his kingdom, okay? And fared sumptuously every day, meaning what? He lived a luxury lifestyle. Why? Because he's blessed. Verse 20, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus. Now, Lazarus is a representation for the Israelites, which was laid at his gates full of sores. The sores is a representation of the curses spoken of in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Now, let's jump down to the point. Verse 22, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. Abraham's bosom is a representation or symbolic meaning for the kingdom of heaven, right? The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. All this means is Esau's heaven is an Israelite's hell, and an Israelite's heaven is hell for Esau. That's all this means. Like right now, we are in hell. Now remember, you have hell, but you have different terminologies, meaning hell can mean the grave and also a condition played out on earth as punishment, okay? Verse 23, and in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and saw Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. He did what? He cried. A crybaby. The scriptures support that Esau is nothing but a fucking crybaby. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. Meaning what? All the Edomites in the kingdom of heaven will catch extreme hell. All right? The only day of rest that they will have is the Sabbath day. Okay? That he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. Verse 25, but Abraham said, Son, remember that you in your lifetime in your kingdom receive your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted and you are tormented. All right? But the point is, you see in this parable how the rich man, which was a representation, right, for the nobility of Edom, who are Edomites, all right, cried based on the fact he's catching hell in our kingdom, in our setup. But while he was king, all right, everything was fine and dandy. Defining a crybaby. Once again, the scriptures support the behaviors of Esau. Lord, will you edify? Shalom.